Now, everybody's is going to be slightly different. And just what I was talking about the other day is really don't draw things you don't see. So, if you see edges, like maybe where the top of the lip starts, or where the corner of the mouth is, or maybe where the bottom of the lip is, you can make as many little marks on your paper as you think you need. Okay? There's no limit to what is appropriate. I mean, obviously you could try to draw the box around this thing, but for me it's more about finding these points. These, when I start working, again, we want to make sure that when we set up and we start drawing, we are in the correct boxes. And take the time to count that out and make sure you're there. One of the other things that I'm going to say again and again is don't take for granted that your picture is perfectly symmetrical. Your face is pretty symmetrical, but your picture may not necessarily be. So just because one side of the lip might be up here doesn't mean the other one is at the same spot on the same side. Now, his picture is relatively straightforward and it's pretty close to being symmetrical, but this side of the mouth is right on that red line. That's an easy one for me to figure out. The other side of the mouth comes into this box a little bit further. So don't just be, well, this one's on this line, so I'll put the other side on the other line. You're going to end up making your mouth crooked. It won't work. And I would take as many little references as possible. When I look at this picture, you know, it's pretty much straight across, but if I really look at it, this side is just a little bit lower than the other side. It may cut the top lip perfectly in half, but the bottom lip, there's a little bit more lip on this side than that side. Things that help me out, and I've mentioned them before, is look for edges, look for little corners that hit right near the X. I've got a little tiny triangle here. I've got an even smaller one on the opposite side. Those things, if you find those little guys like that, they really sort of, for me, I call them table setters. They kind of let you know where things are supposed to go. Get the rough shape and size of the lips first, okay? Don't worry so much about, you know, the details in them, the little bits of curves and stuff like that. Let's just get the placement and overall size in the right place first. And one of the things that people are almost always going to do, I guess, is they're going to draw this and they're going to be like, oh my God, my lips look really big. Are they really that big? They're not. I need to make them smaller. If you start making those adjustments and changes, you're going to mess with your face. And anybody who's watched these plastic surgery shows or whatever, most of the time when people start doing that, they really mess their faces up. When I'm drawing in here, less is more. If you don't see a hard edge at the bottom of your lips, don't draw it. You know, just draw what you see. Once you have the overall placement and size of it, then you can kind of play around a little bit with the little curves and contours and how it might change. But I'm trying to follow exactly what I see in the picture. And again, with the lips, don't just take for granted that when you're looking at them, it's just there, one side is exactly symmetrical and should line up with the other. It's just not the case. Trust your measurements and what you're seeing over there. And again, keep your lines light. Your pencil line later on should just disappear. Okay? We don't want to, you know, have a really dark, heavy pencil line. So try to keep your sketching relatively light. And once you have this part done, what else I'm going to tell you to do is you can look for any other little edges or things. And that might be, in this case for him, his jawline, parts inside the ear, okay? And any other little edges you might see that could be helpful for you. You can draw edges of shadows. You know, these things, if you see a dark edge, that might be something that might be helpful for you to put in there. If you didn't get all the little stuff around your neck and your sort of edge of your shirt, get that stuff in. But we want to get to about this point, you can see right here, within, I would say, the next 2 class sessions. From here, what we're going to do as a group is we're going to start checking these things. And once we're done checking, I'm going to start talking about how we're going to shade this. So that might be the last drawing demo I do for a couple days. And we're going to move on to shading a little bit thereafter.